What's up guys, we're back with another video today, and today I kind of want to go over one of my favorite, if not my favorite camera, and that is this right here, which is, I'm sure everyone knows, the Fuji X100V. Now this is probably like your 100th video that you've seen on the X100V. I actually didn't know that recently it's been blowing up on social media like TikTok and stuff. I'm not a user of TikTok or anything, so I wasn't really aware, but I've had this camera for a little over 2 years now. I think I bought it at the end of 2020. Yeah, around December of 2020. Anyways, I wanted to just do a brief review on just my personal use with this camera for over the past 2 years. And I'm not a professional reviewer or anything. I'm not going to go into like all the details and the specs of this camera. It's more of everything that I've experienced personally using it, just my thoughts on the everyday capabilities of this camera. Now first, I just want to start off with the size of this camera. It's very compact, and I think that's why it makes for an obvious great travel camera. But beyond the size of this thing, the reason why I say it's like one of my favorite cameras, definitely my most used camera, is because the convenience of it. And what I mean by it is it's very unassuming. It's kind of like an iPhone, and that's not even, I don't say that to degrade this camera and like the quality or anything, but I mean, look at the photos that you've taken on your iPhone with your friends or on vacation, just everyday moments. I feel like this camera is the best for anytime you just see something, you want to pull it out and just shoot it. This, in my opinion, is the best for situations like that. I'm never afraid to pull out this camera, whereas if I have like a full frame camera or especially a medium format camera like my Pentax, I'm not going to use that camera for everyday life. One day when I have kids, I'm not pulling out my Pentax and putting on a lens, figuring out what lens to put on it, and then going from there. Moments like that pass by so fast that, in my opinion, this camera, it captures the best moments like that, where you're hanging out with your friends, you're on vacation, you see this cool little car, or you see even the food you eat. You're not pulling out a mirrorless camera with a nice lens on it, generally speaking, to shoot those things. I think a lot of people say that this camera is not great because it's not a full frame, you don't have a big sensor and all that. And while that may be true statistically, I think this is the best camera where the ease of use and the image quality, it gaps that bridge the best. Because I guarantee it, in most situations, if I showed you guys a photo of a image that was taken on a full frame camera versus a APS-C camera like this one, 99% of you guys will not tell the difference, and me included. So I think when it comes to specs like that, we normally like to put those things under a microscope as if they matter that much. I think for the everyday person, that stuff almost doesn't matter at all. Now when it comes to client work, yes, I guess a better camera will provide the best result. But in most cases, I think a lot of that stuff is just noise and extra things that most people don't need to argue about. It's about what you can capture and the moment that matters the most. I'm sure a lot of us are satisfied with the images that we get on an iPhone because we got it at that moment. It's very candid and we know when it happened. We can go back and talk about those memories. And although it probably isn't as convenient as an iPhone because you always have that with you, I think this is the second closest camera that you can have where you can capture all those best memories. Personally, for me, I think the biggest gripe for me, and it's not even that big of a deal, and I found a solution for it, is because of how small it is, the front grip, it's not the best to hold it, it seems slippery at first. So I got an accessory where you can put your thumb on the grip so to hold the camera a little bit better and more secure. But other than that, I don't have too many complaints about this camera. Now I know one of the other complaints that I hear about this camera is that it has a fixed 23mm lens. And in my opinion, I like that a lot because first of all, it's a point and shoot camera, and if you have a zoom lens on it, probably you're gonna have to sacrifice some size to it. And another thing I like about the fixed lens is that it really makes you think about your composition more, whereas I think a zoom lens is kind of in a way a cheat. Obviously there are times where you need a zoom lens, you can't get closer to the subject anymore, so you need it in that case, and that makes sense. But I think in most cases a fixed lens is perfect for most situations, and I like the fact that again it makes you think about your composition more and whether that's a shot that's worth taking. And on another note, that's why I like film photography, because besides the fact that in a film roll you have a limited number of shots, it kind of slows you down and it makes you think about each composition, and that's kind of what I enjoy about the film photography. And also, if you do really need a zoom, it does provide a digital zoom. I think it goes up to 70mm in digital zoom, and obviously that is a cropped digital image, so you do lose some image quality, but I think it's kind of cool that they even offer even a digital zoom versus nothing if you really need it in those circumstances. Now, if you've seen some of my night diaries series where I go out and shoot at night, you've seen that a lot of my images are taken with the X100V, and in my opinion, I think it works pretty good in low light, considering it is not a full frame camera and has a smaller sensor. And obviously sometimes you need to up the ISO, and it does make it a little bit noisy, but all in all, I think for a point and shoot for this size, I think it does the job very well, and most images, even in the dark, are pretty good. Now you might be wondering, is this camera worth it? And I think it retails for about $1,400, and it's not cheap, but I think for what you get in this camera, I'm not trying to sell anyone this camera, but I think what you get for that price and the images you get out of it, not to mention how many countless memories and moments you can capture, to me it's worth it. And also, if you travel a lot and you want to not worry about gear too much, not worry about having to carry so many different lenses, and the convenience of size, this camera is definitely worth it. So that was my little personal take on the X100V and my opinions on it for using it the past 2 years. I hope you guys enjoyed that one, and if you have any other questions about this camera that I did not answer in this video, you can ask me down below and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. And please share this video with your friends. Please like it because it really does help get my video out there, and subscribe to the channel for more content. And I'll show you some more photos that I've taken with this camera over the years. Peace.